Tourette's podcast is not a medical advice show. It's a show about experiences. In the course of that, we may talk about medications or therapies or stories from the doctor's office, but don't mistake any of that for medical advice or direction. It's not. Get that only from people or places licensed or certified to give it. Not from a massively fun and action-packed podcast about our life experiences. Such as...
You know what I mean? For one, for my mother, I'm saying then I wouldn't be able to be out going to hold her. She said, I love you, but the real world going to kick you to the curb.
This is Tourette's podcast, made possible with support of the Tourette Association of America and part of the Geeks Rising Network. Hey everyone, it's Ben. Hope you've had a great week. I've read some nice responses to the episode with Maggie, people interested in the talk about CBIT or comprehensive behavioral intervention for tics. If you want to learn more about that, we have talked about it in most episodes so far this season. Most, I mean like 2 of them at this point. But if you're just starting here, you can hear what the latest conversation is regarding CBIT in past episodes this season. But more directly, you can find the CBIT information page at tourette.org, or if you Google something like CBIT Tourette, it's probably the first thing that comes up. Wait, hang on, let's see. It is. The Tourette Association of America is the primary sponsor of this podcast. You can find a provider, check out tools and info, look at upcoming events, and donate to support Tourette needs, all at tourette.org, tourette.org. The podcast is also supported in many ways by amazing listeners, including Laura in Brazil, who I've been messaging with, and it's been nice learning about the resources and the treatment opportunities in her country, and I think we're going to try to hear more of that here. Stay tuned on that, but she's got a project and a presentation about Tourette that she's been doing at her school, and she said it was inspired by the podcast, which is just, that's so cool. I can't believe we're making these kinds of connections. You know, some with people who say they've never talked about TS openly before. I mean, that's actually common, but hearing from everybody has been amazing, and I read every single thing I get. I'm sorry if I don't reply right away, but I do read everything, and I always aim to reply. Speaking of people I've been corresponding with.
Shout out to Philip J. Wood and everybody here. Celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Month. All month, my name is Myles R. I have Tourette Syndrome. I'm all awareness increasing myself about Tourette. I come out and show love and support as I normally do for all my fellow people, the creative folks that be doing their thing. And I support all black business. Shout out to NGs.
This is Myles R. Walker, and we've got him on the episode today. And this episode, I mean, it weighs something. It's just... Myles and I talked for a very long time, and so I've had to do a little condensing to get it into our rough time format, which was extremely difficult to do, cutting the tape, because just about everything Myles said was gold. So many angles, a lot of different territory, it's dense and you'll nod your head a lot, and just hearing where he's coming from with all this is definitely worth your time, for sure. And I'm happy you're here for it. Myles has arguably the best username on Instagram, King Tourette Syndrome. And I'd argue he's worthy of that title indeed because, I mean, he's changed the conversation in entire neighborhoods about what Tourette syndrome is. Myles, in his own words, is a Tourette advocate from the hood, and he's really taken command of the situation around him to make sure he's not only understood, but also just to make sure people know why it's important to refrain from gawking and to stop with the comments and, you know, to act more like generous human beings. Just be good to each other. You know, Myles speaks directly to people who are giving him a hard time or making fun of him, and this is his thing, he won't get hostile. And he's not fake about that either. It's not rehearsed diplomacy. He just brings a sincerity to his activism. And he sees populous places like stores and restaurants as really great places to start these conversations. Like when someone inevitably notices his tics, boom, he can have a conversation. You know, he can talk about it. He can explain himself. He can educate. It can be pleasant. He's been on TV news. I mean, we referenced that in the conversation ahead. He's just somebody you want to listen to. And after you hear this, there's no denying the potential for him to do even more for the world. Yeah, he's already written a book long ago, actually, and you'll have to stick around to the end to hear how he says he inspired 2 Chainz to put TS in a lyric, and about how he might have even inspired Jay-Z to do the same. Okay, let's get to it. A seriously great conversation. Here's me and Myles R. Walker.
Man, I wish I could show you this video that I had recently of these gentlemen working at contractor, these grown men that was making fun of me. And I addressed them.
Yeah.
And they got mad because I addressed them like I got them on film. I got tons of comments from people all over the world.
What happened with that? You meant someone just had a problem with you?
Okay,
and...
I'm gonna tell you like the video will tell you, and I didn't explain to so many people. There's a t-shirt shop. And I'm like, well, I was at the t-shirt shop cutting it. I was there because I'm going to cut a buddy's grass that works at the t-shirt shop. His name is Bob. His shop is next to the t-shirt shop. His house is up the street. Everybody pretty much at the t-shirt shop lives in the same neighborhood. I'm going to cut this man's grass. And the gentleman that's been working at this building for about, I don't know, God knows, maybe 2.5, 3 months. This is long. This one out of this 1 month, they've been there. They've been making fun of me, not saying nothing. People just nobody saying that. Like, that's not funny. Stop doing that. Yo, hey, we sorry. I apologize. Like, nobody. They've been mocking me. Hoo-ha, but they doing that. And I never got mad. But the day I cut the man's grass, my buddy, I called the lady at teacher shop. I'm done. I'm about to come back. I walked by this elementary school, and I hear the hoo-ha. So I go and address the gentleman who's doing it, and he ran in the building. He pointed that he did it, and I'm like, this is just sad. Y'all grown men, some of y'all fathers and grandfathers. It's like I have Tourette's. I only hurt their feelings because I addressed them. These grown men, I just put them in their place. Like, I'm not mad. I didn't show out, get crazy. I was just like, this is real sad. I was like, I was testing y'all. I mean, I'm telling them, after like what I'm doing, I was like, I noticed y'all doing that. And I said, I hold all of you accountable because just one. It only takes one. One of y'all could have said, wait a minute, this ain't right. And the boss came to the t-shirt shop to apologize, one handshake. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just meant business. I was doing my stuff. Yeah. And the people said, well, it got handled. I said, I know it got handled. I let God handle it. Like, I was just showing people what true ignorance is,
Yeah.
What true, like, how people make fun of other people. It had nothing to do with, black or white situation. I'm no African-American, and the building is full of, Caucasian brothers, you know what I'm saying? And they older than me. A lot of them was like every bit of, 45, 50, or whatnot. Mm-hmm. Youngest guy probably was 20. Yeah. And I was just simply showing, okay, y'all want to see what happens? It was recent. Like, they moved the guys. Several of them got fired or whatever happened. Like, I didn't do it for that. I did it to show people, like, because I go through this. I've been going through this stuff on the record, even with police, like, not recently, but way back when I was educated.
How often does this happen where you have negative situations or encounters like that?
Well, you know what? It beats me because, like, this is the first out of several months ago. This lady up the street some lady got fired messing with me. Said I screamed, and she just lied. Said I screamed at her. And when you scream at somebody, you yell at them. Yeah. When you walk in, like, I'm walking literally by this lady to the gas station. That's in my neighborhood. She don't know I go to that gas station at night at the same time, or I'm there. I live out in this neighborhood. So she said, hey, you yelled at, you screamed at me. And we're on camera. I don't do the lying. I don't do the faking. We're on camera. And you see the store cameras. You see me walking by this lady. Yeah. If you watching the cameras, I'm literally walking by this lady. She stopped me, put the phone down off her face. And I remember, like, plain as day, everything that happened. She stopped me and said, hey, you screamed at me. My sudden outburst went out. I'm not even looking at her when it was. When you yell, hey, I just yell through the phone. That's a yell. I'm walking by you peacefully, boom. I don't even know. But she told the co-worker, our friend, call the police. She's like, why? Like, call the police because he's yelling and screaming SHIT at me. And we know that's not true. Again, I just bought some cigars and, stuff like that. So basically what I'm saying is, again, like, when these things happen, I don't ever get mad. I love it. I have fun. I just show people this is why people don't know about Tourette's. These things happen. They're going to happen. And if I was to fight and go crazy, then I wouldn't be the right kind of person, because to handle this stuff. I'm just showing people what mothers and fathers and grandparents, aunties, uncles, anybody that's raising a child, a teenager, like somebody that I know personally around the world that has Tourette's, This is what happens. This is what happens to us. These things are just real. It's just how well do you handle them, You know what I mean? And showing people, how well I handle it. Like, you will not see me fighting and swinging. I ain't got time for that. It's pure education. It's pure education. It ain't no, screw you, because if I do that every time, that's ignorant. Now I'm the ignorant. Now I'm looking just like them. So, you just, I addressed the gentleman like I said, it's sad. Y'all grown men, y'all got families, and y'all making fun of me a whole month. I walk by your business. You're this old abandoned building. You could have asked me a simple question. Just say, hey, excuse me, sir, why do you do that? Why you make noise? You've been noticing. And I would have said I got Tourette's. And that's it. And have a nice day.
Yeah.
Like that. That's how fast stuff is supposed to go. And I'm just so sick of people calling us saying, I'm going to call the police. It's like a power trip thing. Like, you know.
I mean, you wanting to advocate and everything, and then them pressuring you for the situation. So here's the unfortunate thing is that, you know, they shouldn't be making fun of you at all, but you also shouldn't be put into a position where you have to, you know, divulge your medical information. You know, you shouldn't have to tell people that, but you do, you know, for advocacy's sake. And
that's what
does it come out as a positive situation more often than not?
Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, well, as far as like, you know, me doing what I'm doing and just, you know, and the positive outcome is the feedback that I've been getting from the people that I'm talking to, that comment. You're the one that people that seeing it. People around here all in Knoxville, like I have one of like probably one of the biggest pages following as far as, you know, like regular human being people. I answer my page, like I answer everybody on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. This is my YouTube account or whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's just sad. I was just telling people, like, you want to ever see what life is like, taking someone with you, watch what happens. You know, this is for other people around the world. Like, I'm just so sick of, I'm in a town there's absolutely been nothing. I've had cops, you know, just think I'm crazy. I'm on drugs in a drug-riddled neighborhood. Like, you know, I live out here. Like, man, if I had you with me right now to show you the neighborhood, it's decent now. It's not what it used to be right now. Years ago, though, oh my God, like the police were all in and out, because this is just the perception of the neighborhood, you know. But it's sad. The positive outcome, to answer your question, positive, it's just a positive outcome when people see, you know, the truth, the facts, and then they see how well you handle it. You know, like this stuff. Like I pay attention to life. And what I mean is, like, I am African American. I have tough as it is just being. And having it and living in a public housing area that people like to label and say, oh, it was this, that, whatever. It's not, it don't even matter. And then there are people from all walks of life. You understand that live in low income situations they come from, you know, and sometimes, you know, situations, whether it be addictions or mental health, you know what I'm saying, mental illnesses or, you know, homelessness. And I may seem like I fit right in because I'm not screaming out. I'm not screaming out, but yell. And I walk through people's suburbs, neighborhoods, and like just to see what people's perception is. You know, like I do stuff. I do little like creative things, you know, just to see like, okay, let me walk through this neighborhood where there's prostitutes. There isn't known prostitutes up and down the street. You know, nobody knows me really, like, you know, so I can go somewhere and I can just, you know, be like, and I'm man, like. It's the perception. I mean, that's I've seen so much just how people look at me and judge me and say just the wildest stuff and never ask a simple question.
Yeah.
How many times, you know, the man, I had, you know, issues as far as like with the polling, and like every time, like if they check me, they were like in the neighborhood. Sometimes I'm like, look, I ain't got nothing, know me this and that. You should know me by now. Like after a while, it was a different cop or whatever. And it's like, dude, I pull up empty in my pockets while they're here. There's nothing on me. I don't got no charges, no trespassing, no nothing. I've never been to jail. Yeah. You know, true stories. I got knock on wood. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like I've seen what people go through in the neighborhood. Like when I was young, man, it's I'm sorry, it's real. It's like people need help, man. People like, I guess I know I'm just like the boldest one to put out there what people really need to hear and see, and you know, and not sugarcoat nothing. Like
the neighborhood that you're talking about, with it having kind of an association with drugs and everything, and you said, you know, police used to come out. I mean,
they still do. I mean, they still roll by there. Yeah, like if you move there right now, I have friends. I know people who live out there. I have neighbors. Even though still old neighbors, I know people that live out there. I can show you the building that lived in and wrote my book in. I don't get stopped no more. Because I guess I don't know if they recognize. I haven't yet. I'm wanting to see like if I'm just walking or something and they want to, you know, because they still. I made phone calls, man, to people. Like I've made phone calls to schools. I want to get in these schools and boom. I ain't having a word from nobody. But I guarantee you, if they saw me like on TV now, like, oh, we got to get him, and it's like. It shouldn't, you know, it's deep, man. It's like I've seen, man.
Yeah.
The discrimination from the law. Yeah, it was. I remember once upon a time. It's on the same subject. but it wasn't in the neighborhood. It was up the street from the neighborhood. It was a University of Tennessee Law. A police officer called me homeless just for standing outside the gas station drinking Arizona.
Yeah.
And I was smoking a black and mild after doing a radio segment.
Yeah.
And I got targeted, really, I don't know what was going on. It's if it was something, city issues with the homeless or whatever, this and that, because they started barring people to hang here, this and that. Something was going on. So I knew that was it. Why can't I just be a customer? I'm
right.
standing out here on my bike. It's sad. The perception. I'm the only thing. I've seen the lack. What happens to me? The lack. The getting discriminated, kicked off buses, malls. Police discrimination. From not just but literally I could be in a different neighborhood. I could be anywhere, and I've seen the lack of education. I've seen a lot of ignorance. I've been in some ignorant situations, and that's why I just, doc and talk about it and keep it real and not sugarcoat, because people, they might not want to hear, they got to hear it. It's
Man.
I coach kids. I'm going to tell you, I'm in Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
I coach kids 13 years. I'll be 14 years February 6th. I coach kids, football, baseball, basketball. Sorry if I'm going too fast.
No. This is great stuff. I mean, but based on what you were saying, I think there are a lot of people who can really benefit from you talking about this subject, not only having TS, but also being African American. I mean, would it be fair to say that you feel just that extra level of pressure of acceptance
Yeah, because my neighbor, I've never, and it's honest truth, I've never got stopped by any black cops in the neighborhood. Just any of the urban neighborhoods I've been in, and for all the people that know me, I've never literally, and I can call a bunch of them, and they will tell you that it was only the opposite color that was always stopping me, and literally it was the same bullcrap. It was just, this is your drug, you just looking at me mean crazy, and I know what this is. It's because you had this perception of my neighborhood, because this neighborhood really is, this is as bad as they say, it's kind of sort of, but it's still my home. You know what I mean? It's it's
totally.
where I live. Yeah. And I feel very, very disrespected when somebody just looked, and I seen it, and I never got mad. It was just I'm seeing it, and then people seeing police messing with me and my neighbors. So they don't they know you got Tourette's? No, they judging. They already hot-headed, or somebody got shot. Something happened in the neighborhood. Somebody's having too much dope and they come to get. So they just assume, I live out here. You know what I mean? I know my neighbors. My neighbors know. My whole neighborhood knows me. My entire neighborhood is educated.
Yeah.
I love my babysit for some of my neighbors. I'm babysitting little kids right now. My buddy, thank God, when he's home, he made it home. I was babysitting. He's white. His girlfriend just went to work. He's off work. He's a towel worker. She's working this concert. And their daughter is 2 years old. So if that's going to tell you something, then you know what I mean? This is a little girl, you know what I mean? And I scream out, she loves me. She be laying on a tablet, chilling. She'll be sitting on the couch. She'll be whatever. She'll never see her run, terrified, or scream or holler, none of that.
I mean, that's so great that you're having that impression on the kids in your neighborhood, and also people who were, I guess, your peers. I mean, so you said your neighborhood's educated. Is that pretty much you single-handedly doing that?
Yeah, I single-handedly do a lot, on day by day. Yes, my new neighbors, old neighbors. Yeah, I you're right. Single-handedly doing it, because nobody's doing it. There's nothing. Now, what if I didn't? I'm thinking what if I didn't move? Not sure. I'll just come in. However, whatnot, when the good Lord God does, it's nobody will know. Literally, I'm already thinking and knowing this. I lived in Nashville in the 90s, 95, 2001. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people with Tourette's now in Nashville. Yeah. I was hitting the street every day, and there are people when I went to school with, and people I still know and keep in touch with, all these years later in Nashville, and they got kids, and they kids know about it. And they I was doing this now. I was doing that, what I'm doing now, back in Nashville. There's a kid, let me just sum it up and say, like you said, single-handedly, I was doing single-handedly by myself. As much as I could do was much as I could be out. And then when I picked up a 40-hour week job, I'll tell you about that later, in the mall, that's every day. That's educating. I was basically saying, okay, that's the 90s. I educated in the 90s, but still, this stuff got to carry on. 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000. 2001, 9/11 goes. I moved back home to Connecticut, and 9/11 is going on. So, it's a little different times. The people are sad. It's a little sad day in the country, in America, what's going on. Mm-hmm. So, I still got Tourette's, and people still need to be educated. So how do you, Fast forward, let me just say, this is a 14-year-old kid right now that has Tourette's and plays football for school. And he runs 50, 60, 70-yard touchdowns. I can show you videos. He's got Tourette's. I'm trying to help him right now. He's like, it don't bother him. He's upbeat. He's an outgoing kid. He's like cool. You know what I'm saying? He's not a down and out. I don't hear her talking negative. What I'm trying to say is that was important to me. This kid is 14 years old. I ain't never met him, seen him yet, but we know each other like through the Facebook. We talk. So just him having Tourette's is basically saying that's the reason why I was doing what I was doing in the 90s, in the early 90s. And, when I was in a neighborhood, a decent neighborhood, but my friends it was fast.
Yeah.
High school reach. And they had gold in their mouth. They was flashy, had money. A lot of them were selling drugs. And I was in a predominantly black school in the Nashville. So in 95 to 99, I graduated high school in 99, Procon High School. I worked this job 40 hours a week in the mall. And I'm living in the suburbs. I got a special transfer. It's this school, I need to stay here. It's diverse. It's black and white. And it's in an urban community though. It's in a black neighborhood community, and it's just much needed, And I did this day by day by day for people's education. For you can't stop not talking about Tourette, thinking about it. You gotta have it out there like cancer, like anything. So now here we are, 2019. But there's you can go back 2018, 17, 16, 14, 13, 12. There's people that have Tourette's been coming up. I've been seeing support groups in Nashville and then seeing people that I know post stuff. There's a support group tonight at Brewster's. We're going to the bowling alley. Anybody want to come, da-da-da. This is why I'm doing what I'm like, you know. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like not saying, you get what I'm like, I lived in Nashville. They didn't have nothing back then, even when I was living there in 95. People could tell you. Some people I know personal. It's my sister. I got a sister from Nashville. So she would say, she was like, there was nothing here. When I moved down there from Connecticut, I was every day, like literally, and I picked up a job. And I was like, wow, I picked up a 40-hour-a-week job in a mall, working in an athletic department store, and had all kind of customers, Yeah. And it's just like, I'm seeing the need. Like, look, I know, I'm sorry I get a little long-winded. It's just, bro, I'm so freaking passionate. Like, I've seen so much. Like, I'm creative. I am very outgoing. And I'm grateful to my mom, who's a big part, because she was like, she was the one that helped me get to like that, not feeling sorry for myself, let me feel sorry. She was like, go out, do something, like, da-da-da, and that, if it weren't, if it weren't for my mother, I'm saying, then these, like, I wouldn't be able to be outgoing to hold her. She said, I love you, but the real world gonna pick you to the curb. And that stuck with me in a sense. And that was just real, just saying a lot,
That's powerful. I mean, that's really, so that TV news segment that you were on, I mean, she was a highlight of that. I mean, she sounded really positive. She sounds like she's been there for you.
Yeah,
let's go back. I mean, how did the story begin for you? Did she notice something and take you to the doctor, or what's the beginning of TS for you?
Man, I was just playing with my ball in the parking lot, and I started making these weird noises and stuff. I didn't know what it was. Of course, I didn't know what it was. I'm just a kid, playing back home in Connecticut. I'm playing in the parking lot. I'm just, a kid, being a kid. I'm by myself. It was a tall apartment, like up north. They got tall buildings. And I live in whatnot. I don't know if I was home. I was visiting. This is one of my neighbors, my girlfriend, Leilani, or something. Whatnot. My neighbors, and I was in the parking lot just playing for a little minute. I kept making this noise like a bird and crow. I'm like, I'm just doing stuff, and I'm like, wow. And kept doing it. So somebody told my mother she's taking me to the doctor. We'll see what's up with me. He might have Tourette's or whatever. She took me. We went to the UConn hospital. I'm from Connecticut. I'm 80. I'm 81. I'm born 81. So we go to the UConn hospital in Stamford, Connecticut, and we have a doctor. That's how it happened. It was just like, and it was like, my mom don't know nothing about Tourette. Nothing. She in denial. The doctor said, you're in denial. I got the paper. Well, I ain't got the paperwork. She got the paperwork. And the doctor said, Miss Walker's in denial. She don't want to believe something wrong with her child. So I'm like, I just know something's over me. I don't know what. I don't know what it is. Moms don't know. None of my uncle, my grandmother, my grandfather, they don't know. And it's just like, wow, I keep doing it. Sometimes I got whoopings for doing it. Kids might just seem like a kid acting out, but something's up with me and I keep doing it. I'm like, but I'm not freaking out or tripping. But I'm doing these little things, and that was it. And it's like,
I mean, were you able to finally actually, secure a diagnosis and get some direction from your doctor about medication or anything like that? Or kind of where did that go?
Yeah, after she diagnosed me with about Tourette's, which I know nothing about now, it's time to study it, look it up. I didn't know back then, you didn't have internet. You don't know
right.
internet.
Yeah.
So it was just like, you don't know nothing about it. You don't see, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing about Tourette in your community, in your school community. I just don't saying your doctor don't even know. Like,
so growing up with it, were you always open to talking about it, or did you kind of lock up and kind of hide away from it?
Not at first. I got bullied in school. This and whatnot. I locked up. I got tight with it. I just was outgoing and upbeat. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what this is, and I'm starting to. Now I know what it is after the first few doctor's visits, and I'm in school. Kids don't know what it is. My classmates don't know what it is. I got to tell them. This and whatnot. I'm starting to, I'm getting in trouble in school sometimes. Class, the teachers tell me to stop, be quiet. You're going to have to go to the principal. You keep doing that. They don't know what it is. So it's like nobody knows. And they just think I'm doing this to be doing this. I'm getting in trouble. And it's like, how many other kids has this besides me? You know what I mean? In my class, in my school, this is whatnot. Who has this? Who can treat me? Who can tell me something? Like, it's like, man, this is, like, dear God, like,
yeah,
it's
isolating.
Yeah, it is very isolating.
Man. Were you, did you have friends who had questions about it and ended up understanding, or was it still kind of a difficult?
No, it was like nobody in my class knew. Nobody. I understand. Like, I didn't even talk about it on the regular with anybody. Okay. I couldn't identify with nobody. Couldn't identify with nobody in my class. Nobody had it. There's nobody in my neighborhood. None of my friends, kids I knew of in the neighborhood or the next neighborhood over or whatnot. No, it was scarce. It literally was. I used to live in the project, but I used to live in the project when I was a kid. We was only African American. I was a family in that building. It was just white, black, Puerto Rican, and I think Italian. Miss Mary and her son Chad and her boyfriend who was Connecticut. They're Connecticut police officer. Just friend of ours. We all knew each other in our building. Everybody was like literally cool as culture, And then the neighborhood, it was a project. It was around. It was nice. It was deep, It was everybody. A lot of people. I knew a lot of my neighbors. A lot of them accepted me though, once they got it, I was telling them, slowly, and it was like subtle movements though. It wasn't as bad. I wasn't too showing, and then from there, man, it's like oh my God, how many parents, how many kids got this? How many? I wanted to know everything like right away.
So you just got obsessive about TS and kind of learning about it and exploring it, and
yeah, seriously, it's like even though I got bullied, I got sent to the office, I got pink slips, like literally in trouble. Teachers sending me to the office, other than whatnot, just because no reason, don't know. I'm like, look, I can't help it. I don't know what this is. And they don't know. So it's like, look, why y'all beefing? Why you beefing with me? Why you, still being mad and upset with me? Well, I don't know. I still got paperwork. This is what it is. Why don't you look it up? Now you're a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Do something to enlighten yourself. I had to be the one.
Yeah.
I had to be the one to educate. I had to be the one to teach people in the school. I had to be the one to just educate in whatever way I could,
So do you see that as kind of a struggle or kind of a gift or a mixture of both? Or
it's a gift and a struggle. It's like a little bit of both because it affects you in every way in life. Every way, love, and I just mean like love, like finding love, dating, going out, regardless if you're the same sex, different sexes, boy, girl, boy, boy. I got friends in LGBT, and have Tourette's, and it is a gift, and it's not a curse, but it has both because it affects the finances. I know people that I talk to on through the phone or when I communicate with, however, typing, texting, talking, emailing, that have traveled 3 to 4 hours from one state where they live at to the next, or several hours just to see a doctor, just see a neurologist, might get misdiagnosed. Wow. It's a gift when they're saying you don't let it. Yeah, seriously. Like I know parents, because they would tell you, they're like, man, I had to go here. I could show you some messages. This is whatnot. Old messages from years back, like 2007, 8, 9. This is what said, I gotta go here. Whole conversation sometime. I gotta go. This is take my son to that. I've had parents ask me from around the world. And I hope and pray that my friend is all right. Susan named but she's got a son. Just want to make. I'm just I name drop, these are facts of people that I know personally. Like, I've helped over the years. She was involved somewhere. I don't want to say involved. Hurricane Dorian. She called me one day. Hurricane Dorian was, God knows, maybe 20 miles away from where she was at or whatnot. And she was in Venice Beach, Florida. She has a son. She's from Tennessee. She moved to Florida to help her mother because her mother had cancer. So she just called me out the wham one day on the phone, on the inbox. And it was like, yo, Myles, what can I do to help my son Tourette? His anxiety, he's tripping, and Hurricane Dorian is not far. And I'm like, I don't even know where they're at. She freaking me out. I'm like, wow, your son is ticking. I'm ticking. It's better just look, because I'm like, oh my God. That's just what news. Somebody just hit you up and say, Dorian is, headed for us and whatnot. And my son, and like, we're going to tough this out. We've been through a couple of them, this one will be all right. But still, you just, you call my phone and you asking me for help, and this storm is coming, and you're like, pray for us. Well, I ain't heard from you. I hope you're all right. You know what I mean? Like, I've known this lady for years. She reached out. She found me on the internet one day, like years back, and we still have not met in person. But if we do, oh man, you might have a whole box of tissue. You need a tissue with you.
Probably, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I care. I care. Like it was just a shocker, because I think about people like that. Like, I've helped people just from where they're at, small, and you know what I mean, and still in touch every day. Like, really built relationships. Man.
No, I mean, that's such a huge thing. That your ability to build community and get people talking, whether they have TS or not. Get neighbors talking to each other. Yeah. At least bring people up to speed on what it is. So if they run into somebody else out there in the world who might have it, they at least know what it is.
Yeah. It's like, there's nothing here for me. I'm the only thing here. So I'm like, literally, there's nothing. I don't operate on no building, no office. I don't have a team. I don't get paid for this. I'm just on the phone, cell phone. Like right now with you, Tourette's is non-discriminatory, right. It don't discriminate. It just affects everybody.
Hope you're enjoying this conversation. We'll be right back. The Tourette Association of America has been around since 1972, and today is the premier nonprofit in the U.S. working for all people affected by Tourette and tic disorders. One of the ways that happens is through communications and awareness tools, which is one of the reasons why the Tourette Association is the primary sponsor of this podcast. They help me out a lot, and you can find tons of information on their website, tourette.org, tourette.org. And I want to thank them for their support of Tourette's podcast. What kind of feedback did you get to the TV news segment, and how did that come about?
Yeah, I've been wanting to do a news story, and just this particular day, I rode my bike out to Project Neighborhood. So instead of going to the library next door to the project, I went to the downtown library. The newsman was in there, not knowing that he's there to do a news story on the library or whatever he's got going on. Such and such. Hey, what's up? How you doing, Josh? My name is Josh. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm doing a story on this library. It's like, I heard you screaming, like, tell me you got Tourette. I said, yeah, I got Tourette. I'm a public song. I said, oh, you a news guy? I said, can we please do this story right away, because niggas, I need help. I was like, I need help bad. That's just saying, I live in a drug-riddled neighborhood. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's so much going on. I get discriminated by police every day, all day. And I mean, it's real out here. I said, man, I need help to tell people, because it's like, I tell people every day, all day on the regular on my own, but this is going to help reach out. I need this,
Yeah.
So we got together and over a period of time, and then he did it. But like, I'm trying to think, this was 2010. So then 2011 rolled around. That's when we got to do the news story. Now, mind you, my book came out in 2006. My first news story was done in 2011. I'm a African-American man, grown, living, no job, no jail record, no nothing. I just live with my mother. That is a picture of what I'm about to tell you. Just being an African-American man, you living in the project. Just saying, you have nothing, you ain't working, it's drugs around you can sell dope, you crack, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Some people that be on it, and then you can get money. This is from them. But you know what I'm saying? I'm a different kind of guy. I'm 80 there. I was taught a lot. I ain't gonna go into all that, but like, I know about like I was taught a lot of stuff when I was a little kid, which made me sharp and advanced today. With Tourette. So, I could be out here in the street selling dope, crack, pills, whatever I want. I'm very educated. I know how to move, operate. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm like, man, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. My book is out. A lot of people are shocked. A lot of people don't even know I have a book in the town. That's just some of them slowly but surely is picking up on it and whatnot. This town is very small. People talk like running mouth like a faucet. You know what I mean? People can't hold water. And, you know, this book, it's really out. It's worldwide. People are shocked like, oh my God, because they're super duper shocked because they're like, wow, this drug-riddled neighborhood, well-known neighborhood, that doesn't understand that is known for this and that and the other. Once upon a time, even in the 90s, like, it was bad, way worse than what it was before I moved in there. You know, it's still a lot of drug activity and whatnot. It's just a neighborhood. It is what it is. It's just life, you know, survival mode. You know what I mean? So I'm getting discriminated by the police now. I know I'm not from this neighborhood, but I'm getting stories about the neighborhood, how it used to be. To the people were having the shootouts, the police stories, the times people got nabbed out their apartments, drugs, everything. I'm getting, and then it's like, and I'm just seeing the perception that people have on me, even some of the drug dealers, you know, on I'm thinking I'm on drugs, and the police that's sitting around and looking at me like, might want to stop asking me a question. It's like, come on, man, like, you know, so I'm getting discriminated for being an intelligent African American. I swear to God, I promise to God, because I got this book. I wrote this book out this drug-riddled neighborhood, out this really bad neighborhood that everybody knows about. You get what I'm saying? And I live out there, and people are even getting shocked. And oh, you live out there? And they're like, wait a minute, he wrote a book. Yes, I wrote the book in that drug-riddled neighborhood. Yes, like, you know, and it's just like, and then people are like, oh my God, nobody knew about it. My mother just told me, she got my face. What do you want to do? Write a book? I'm like, yeah. So I did that, and what I came to say is that I'm just grateful that I left the neighborhood that day and I rode my bike to the downtown. This is just, instead of saying I'm gonna go next door, I could have stayed next door. I wouldn't have found that newsman. I wouldn't have seen that newsman. I wouldn't have talked to him. We wouldn't have done that first news story. Right. You know, I've already trying to call news stories. Like, come on, man. You know, year by year, like after the book is, 2006, my book came out April 28, 2006. Me and my Tourette's Motivated by God came out worldwide. Oh my God, he wrote the book. Well, I'm getting honked that way or whatever. It's like this, you know, people were shocked, like literally, like, you know, I didn't tell nobody nothing, like, you know, because too many people talk. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's too much going. It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. And I was like, this going to be something, you know, it's going to hit and shot running like it's going to be a wave, you know? Now, when that hit the news, and I'm telling people I'm in the news, so I'm going to do a news story, you know, after a while, after I did it though, I said, you know, and I started posting it, I wanted people to look at it, and it's like, and I shared the link. It's like, see, look how many years I've lived with my mom. I don't know jail record. I ain't so dope. I don't do nothing. Y'all can do this too. Anybody can do this. You know what I'm saying? I want to see other people do this because I'm sort of speaking that there's nothing for black. The town is whack, it's small. It ain't, you know, too much. I got Tourette's. You know, I done taught drug dealers, gangbangs, gangsters, killers, police, corrupt people, politicians, you name it. Like this, y'all got to see this because basically I know what Knoxville is about. I know what, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not from here, but taking little trips, and it's like, there's nothing here. There's no support even to this day. You know, I got lied on by a lady on drugs and told me do not return to the job. So I didn't go to the job. I didn't want to, you could be just lying, manipulating, but I knew what it was. It was like, this is unreal. Like, no, you know, that neighborhood, no, you're not supposed to come out of that. You're not supposed to make something like this. You know, that's what I'm up against, society. You know, I beat society. Like, I wasn't going to jump stupid out the street. Bro, it took me, like, why did I have to fight 5 years just to do the first news story? After my book is published in '06, for the world to see. When you tell people, they don't even believe you. You say, look it up.
Yeah. Man.
Google it.
Well, so when the news clip comes out and the general public sees it, I mean, obviously people are contacting you and reaching out to you, right? I mean, what were the positives that came out of that?
Well, it was some positive, and I saw some negatives. Okay. Like, I saw jealous people at work, you know, on different jobs I was on. I'm starting to see people, like, taking a liking to me that ain't really taking a liking to me, that, you know, want to talk to me or whatever, want to, you know, I'm seeing girls kind of picking up, like, you know, back then want to give you attention, but it's not even that. I didn't do this to be famous. I didn't do this to say, oh, this is, you know, I'm on TV now. This is the first news story. No, damn it. I want to do another one. I want to do another story. I want people in the room. I want to get the ball. I can do a lot of creation like I'm doing now. Like the stuff that I showed you, you see why I'm doing. You see why I do what I do on my own.
Yeah. I mean, you're at least, you know, you're starting conversations and you're leading to a peaceful explanation of it and a real conversation just between two people ultimately. I mean, that's the best part of it.
So, right. Like if, let's say you and I go into 10 fast food restaurants, right? Other than we just increased 10 fast food restaurants.
Yeah.
How do we do it? We didn't even have to talk. Now the option is we could wear a shirt that says I have Tourette Syndrome. Other than or not. I preferably sometimes don't wear like my shirt just so I won't be, right away, because I want to see what a person is. Like when I was in Burger King last week, subject back on, this guy saw me tick and he said, "Hey, you got Tourette?" He said, "I just noticed you tick." And I was like, "Wow, you noticed that?" But
yeah.
I was getting those dollar tacos, them Burger King tacos. They taste real good. They like Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
So I'm in there getting 2 of them. I'm on my way home and I ticked and he seen that and he's like, "Wow," he said, "I noticed that." I said, "That's cool that you even ask questions. You noticed." Like he said, "It's no big deal. I want to go to make fun." I thought, "I ain't tripping." It just, and his coworkers, some of them, I knew them. I ain't always in. I just went to Burger King and name popped up. Like, wow. So like I just educated somebody who just got educated without, saying all this other stuff came up.
Yeah.
So I wish more people would, do that. Like just go to a store, go somewhere. Don't worry about your ticks. You can educate people. They're gonna look. They're gonna think whatever. Feel comfortable with yourself and free. Me and you go to 10 fast food restaurants and we go in there and I'm ticking, we sitting and eating and I'm ticking and ticking. People can look, say whatever they want, who cares? If they ask a question, it's cool. Hey, I got da. They don't, cool. But the fact of the matter is everybody just got educated. They're not going to, they might have been ones that not going to say nothing or scared to ask. People, they looking and you're in here, me and you talking, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
people
yeah. I mean,
educated. And literally.
And it's kind of like, like in a real world way where you kind of normalize it and just kind of make it no big deal in life. Like, it's not like you're just talking about TS, like you're demonstrating it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like people don't realize, like, if you don't want me to talk, like you want to meet me, you know what? I'm just coming. And that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing on my own. Like just wherever I go, I tell people, this is what Tourette said. Walk into a store and walk out. Then I'm saying, go in the store, go buy something, or whatever you're taking. So what? You can mention your Tourette's or not, and just thank you. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening. Go into a store with a bathroom. Walk around a bunch of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that just right there, like, people pick up on it, they do it. They don't care. But don't give away the info. Just go somewhere. Yeah. And then come out and then go. And it's like, wow, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's education, It's not always getting a bunch of people in the room or whatever. It's like going out. It's like being somewhere. Showing somebody the physical form.
I love it. I mean, I've never really heard it quite said that way before. I think like in my mind, I kind of view it as if I'm out and about in public, I shouldn't really worry about my ticks. I'm just going to tick freely. But I'm not really thinking about it in the way that you're saying it. The way that you're saying it is way better. Is way better than the way I've been going about it. I mean, that's really good because it simultaneously allows you to be yourself. And it just puts that conversation into the air. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If they do something aggressive, like make fun of you, that's an opportunity for a different kind of conversation. I mean, it's just, you're charging it up to where it can happen and have a really good outcome. And I think that's awesome.
You're right. Well, well said. Like, I was like, I just looked at it as that, I'm out and about every day. I'm in the streets. I'm wherever I want to be. Like, I'm very comfortable. That I go literally wherever. I have a car. I got a license. I just do one. I did buses and I got a bike. This is a bicycle. But on my Tourette's. People think I can't drive. And that's a perception. That's a big. So they didn't see me ride bikes for years. People think I can't. Literally don't think I can drive. They never see me, in a car or whatever. And then when they do, like, oh yeah, you got a car, and this is not my car. I'm driving a friend's car. But they like, wow, when'd you get a car? And it's like, wow, like that's what they pay attention to. Like, okay, so you ain't seen me on a bike in a while. Yeah. And you assume like this is not my car, but I'm driving. But you didn't even know I could drive because you never seen me drive because I'm always on the bike. And so the perception is like, you chicks, you can't drive a car. I got a license. Like, I've had a license all my life. Yeah. Like you said, this is the best. It's just I just pop up. You know what I mean? I go to Walmart. I live in a neighborhood where Walmart down the street, Kroger's is across the street. There's a Taco Bell, there's a Pilot. There's a Knoxville Wholesale Furniture. There's a Hardee's, there's a Burger King, a Wendy's. There's 2 McDonald's, one in the Walmart and one outside the Walmart. There's a Dollar Tree. There's a GameStop. There's a couple Chinese places. There's a Golden Corral. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff. Chick-fil-A, there's a lot of Papa John's. There's literally a lot of stuff. And just going in, people don't know, regardless of what they say. I have my phone ready just in case I need to film or something, or like show some people. And that's it. It's like, y'all need this. Y'all don't want to come to me. I'm going to come to you. I done made phone calls. I'm tired of making phone calls and emails. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of getting run around. School is in. It's like, it ain't going to take nothing but like finally like, boom,
Yep.
There's kids out here. There's mothers, there's parents. Like, I'm talking to people every day. I found you, like, man, man, it's so, I think about what other people don't think about. You know?
Yeah. I mean, we're getting a lot of new stuff from this conversation. Just, I mean, the way that you're approaching things is different from conversations I've had before, and which I think it's great to just to kind of bring in that different approach. And it's something because I mean, the thing with TS is, one thing isn't going to work for everybody. There's not one pill that works for everybody. It's just, you have your own approach in life, and you consider the context around you and your neighborhood and the people around you. And what are you going to do with that? And then your outlook on life, and what do you want your life to be? And I mean, I don't want it to sound like I'm kidding with this question. I'm totally serious. I mean, have you thought about running for office or anything like that? Or so you said you do work at the Boys and Girls Club and everything, but have you thought about more like kind of a broader community thing?
Yeah, I thought about running for office. People would be scared because I'm so real. Let's just say, like, I know people in this town. I do have numbers. This is saying, like, I took this city by myself, but for people around the world like you, myself, and others that I don't know nothing about, ain't seen in years or whatnot. Like, I really care. I could run for office and I could win. I could run for president. I know for a fact I could win. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I would really be about the people. I would be doing exactly what I'm saying I'm doing for people. I won't be lying. I know stuff will be kind of hard. People might play some games, but I could I know I could run. But see, I would need the right people. We need the right people, compassionate, caring, because I would need people just like me and doing the work like me that I'm doing and produce results and not no lying. We'll get this done. We just doing this to be doing it. We're just taking these photos. Like, I know some people, I know some politicians that have used me for popularity, like purpose or whatever. Said, they cool. Man. They do anything for me, this and that. And I know this for a fact, like, and it's sad because people see my work. I'm out here. I've had, you tell me, just like the question you asked me, could I run for office? I could. People have told me a lot I should run, but I'm like, I don't really want nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? But I would be a really good, advocate.
You would be great.
Thank you. Because I don't do that thing. I don't live on Front Street, as my mom would say. This is serious. This is like really, really, really serious. When I was walking through the streets, on the politician, still on that note, that question you're talking about. I got a buddy from Brooklyn, New York. He's black. He's known now. And that's funny now how years when I used to run through New York. When I drive, take pictures, and I got like pictures of being all kind of places. I got family from New York. And Harlem, New York is big. I'm not scared. Just imagine being in New York City, being a man, walking through the streets. This is what I'm saying, with your t-shirt, Tourette t-shirt on. This is what I'm saying, you're trying to educate and advocate. But you want people to know. Now, people don't even know there is a black man right up under their nose that's from their own town. You know what I'm saying? That's from their own city. That has Tourette's. They don't even know. This is why I did this is why I educate and advocate. I tell people, look, there's people all over the world. This is one of my I've been saying for years. There's people all over the world you don't know about. There's living with Tourette. You don't know about. They're gonna pop out. They're gonna come out the woodwork. They're gonna just pop out. Wherever. And people better get aggressive. I was saying this years ago. So now it's like people. Not now, but I'm saying several years ago even. But now, though, my buddy, he ran for office. He was running for lieutenant governor. He lost it just by so much. He was about to be lieutenant governor working with Cuomo. Okay. We got a bridge lit up in New York, the Mario Cuomo Bridge. We had it lit up in Chill Green.
Yeah, I saw that. That's awesome.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
we did that just by advocating. Me doing what I'm doing in New York. I know people in New York. I know a lot of people and whatnot, and just advocating the way I did is like saying, hey, y'all, there's other people around. Y'all better get with it because there's going to be more people coming out of South City. Y'all got a politician now. They got a politician. You know what I'm saying? The first African-American, he really is the first African-American politician that had Tourette in the country. And
is this Jermaine Williams?
Yes, Jermaine, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was always talking about him just in a way by saying there's people all around the world that you don't know about. He's from Brooklyn. I'm in New York. I'm taking pictures. You see me in New York. from anywhere 2000, whenever, like just period, whenever, and just saying wherever I'm at, just like, please, people, be aware. Now you got somebody from your own state. Now you see other people, like this is serious. Even though it might reach, on TV, it's always still work to be done. It's always, man, I care about people around the world. I tell people that I'm loving, like, man, I'm sick of just what's going on. They putting so much money into this and this and this. Here I am, one man, trying to educate. Just say, let's hang out for 5 minutes. Let's get these Tourette pamphlets in these schools. Let's do this. There's a lot of people that probably in public housing that got Tourette, don't even know,
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, I wanted to ask you about that, too, about TS within the African-American community and sort of access to care and diagnosis and all that stuff. I mean, do you have any thoughts about that?
Oh, yeah, fully, definitely. Yeah, I believe, because, like, right now, like, I was at this meeting, and I saw this program. I signed the survey. I was pressing these buttons. Other than that, it was asking, like, pick 3 that you want in your community to do, like, more jobs, and more safety stuff in the neighborhood, more housing, have more access to disability, more funds for, know this. Like in public housing, if I go to New York right now, then there's going to be a lot of people that don't know me. Like, hey, what the heck? What are you doing? You screaming, da, da, da. I might not, I don't know about the issues with the NYPD now. I don't know that. If I'm like, I haven't, ever had a problem, on that note. But if heaven forbid, if I did, I'll be like, yo, like, I film. Sometimes I give people fair warning when I go sometimes, just to, like, yo, I'm out here, da, 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 this and that. If it's a need be,
Yeah.
But because I see what others don't see in the education, like public housing in New York, they getting to know, but it still need to be more. There's like, there's more. Yeah, the Black community. I know a girl that's a teacher. She's a friend of mine. She's pregnant. She's now she has Tourette. She's looking for another job. I don't know if she found one yet. She's from the Bronx. And I'm working on. I got some little. They ain't nothing solid yet, like t-shirt logos and nothing you could see. But when we met months ago through the Instagram, she found my stuff. She's like, yo, I got Tourette too. And so I said, oh, the BX got TS. And I'm just, and she loved it. She's like, oh, you crazy. And I'm just bouncing off of words. The Boogie Down Bronx. What is that? Tourette's in the Bronx. Tourette's in the BX. Yeah,
I love it.
Tourette's in the BX. And I got the one with the BX. The BX got TS. You get what I'm saying? Like, if I met Fat Joe, and I was like, yo, can I see your Terror Squad chain? It stands, TS don't stand for Terror Squad. I'll make them laugh. Like, it stands for Tourette Syndrome.
Yeah.
I got 2 chains. I got the rapper 2 Chainz to put the word Tourette in the song.
No way. Are you serious?
I'm serious. I met him. I'm serious. I kid you not. He came to Knoxville. It's on the song called Mother Effing Right with Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Yeah. I was say it said G4 G5 jet import export check. When the DJ drops his hit, make them shake like it's Tourette. This is, I kid you not. Like, that happened from a friend of mine who knows him, drives him. He's got a successful limo service. He's from Brownsville, Tennessee. Then he moved to Atlanta. This is years ago, and got with 2 Chainz. I just always be telling him I said, what's up? Tell him I go by 2 Twitch. Just being funny, being silly.
Yeah.
Love playing with words. And he put that in the song. I found out when I was with a buddy one day, going to deliver cake to somebody. Buddy made a cake, and he was going to deliver to somebody, and a homemade cake. And he bumping this song. We leaving his granny's, and he bumping the song. I'm like, what do you say? And I rewind the song back. And oh my God, I'll find it and I'll play it. Jay-Z mentioned the word Tourette years ago. Kid you not, in a mixtape called Superman. It's a song called The Commission. He said, I'm dangerous when tempted, best left alone. Best believe the gun got Tourette syndrome. Now, mind you, this is 2009 or 10.
Yeah.
One of my homies is ex-drug dealer. He was getting money in the streets. He had called me one day and said, yo, you're not gonna believe this. Check this out. I got Jay-Z's new mixtape. And man, he just mentioned you. He said, mention me. And he said, well, he said the word Tourette, bro. It was like, when have you ever heard Jay-Z mention the word Tourette? And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
please give me some feedback to this conversation. I put an asterisk on this one, at least for me, because, it was just nice hearing a fresh take on not only going through your day and how little things matter, but also Myles' approach to awareness and conversation with strangers, and educating entire neighborhoods to be able to identify and respect TS. That's one of the best things I've heard. Again, Myles and I talked for a long time, so there's a lot of keeper material that I couldn't squeeze into this episode, but that means we have a lot of Myles tape in the archive that we can pull out again at some point. So glad we got to do this. Tourette's podcast is made possible by the Tourette Association of America. Visit tourette.org. And I want to go ahead and mention something on the horizon with TAA. So as you might know, the TAA, they host a biennial national conference for the TS community. Now, this is in May, again, of 2020, May 2020, so it's not tomorrow or anything, but this conference is really going to be worth considering in your planning. Here's what TAA told me in an email earlier today. Quote, and this is info you can find on the website too at tourette.org, but they say, we've listened to the feedback received and launched this conference with all new programming in a brand new location. Traditionally in Washington, D.C., the 2020 conference will be in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and is the largest national research, practice, and public information conference dedicated to Tourette syndrome and related tic disorders. End quote. And among new features this year, a scientific symposium for researchers and clinicians featuring the latest research advancing treatment and understanding of TS. Also new, programming for younger children with TS and their siblings. There's an open call for conference presentations. And best of all, thanks to the generosity of funders, TAA was able to cut the pricing for the conference almost in half. So if you heard about prices around $450 per person in the past, well, they're now just $250 for an adult and $150 per youth. Again, that's May of 2020. I'll have a link in the show notes to the conference information. That'll be at tourettespodcast.com. Or, of course, find it at tourette.org. We do social media too. You can follow us on Instagram. You can join the discussion group on Facebook. Thank you to Sophia in the UK. Everybody tell her thank you for being our admin from the get-go. She's been so awesome. At Tourette's Pod on Twitter. Patreon.com/Tourette's Podcast if you'd like to support the show. And if I'm forgetting anything here, we'll pick it up next week. I'll talk to you in the meantime. Tourette'sPodcast@gmail.com. Thanks. This is Ben.